Good morning. Good morning. Friday. We've been waiting all week for this. Hope you're having a great start to your Friday the 13th. If you're watching in later in the day, we're firing this thing up around 7:40 a.m. But the conversation is something we hope will get a lot of participation and get your thoughts on some of the traditions for St. Patrick's Day coming Tuesday. Tuesday is the 17th, St. Patrick's Day. And we wear green. Why do we wear green? I'm not wearing green today. Do we do that on Friday the 13th? I'm just curious. I don't know that we do. Wear wear green on Friday. Why do we wear green on St. Patrick's Day when we should really be wearing blue? Did you know that? We should really be wearing blue. We'll get into the particulars here in a minute. But anyway, if you would like the page and share KWFC, we're hoping to have a little bit of fun, especially following fundraiser with Selection Committee Sunday for the National Collegiate Athletic Association basketball tournament, the NCAA's. Such a fun time. It's my favorite stretch of basketball. Those first couple of the first weekend, especially when you go from 64 and you get it whittled down to 16. It's just basketball wall to wall, and these kids have their heart in it. I mean, you never question the college basketball scene that they're in it every play, and they're wearing their heart on their sleeves. And I love March Madness. We've got a little contest going to be starting up here in just a little over a week called Starch Madness. Starch Madness is coming soon, so I'll be watching for the bracketology here on KWFC's Facebook and have a little bit of fun with this. Starch Madness, pitting your favorite side dishes against one another. So join us on that. That's coming up here very soon. So like and share KWFC and help us grow this thing. We like to have a little bit of fun. Let me get into the live radio part here. Got to do that first things first. That's High Road, and that's what love is. That's their latest single, and I can't wait to watch them perform that live 4 weeks from tonight in Springfield, Missouri. They join the sound for the KWFC Spring Sing, and that is happening 4 weeks from tonight, y'all, at First Baptist Church. And very, very excited to have High Road and the Sound live music. Those folks are talented, not just good singers, but they can play the instruments. So I'm looking forward to that live band experience. We are Friday Live on Facebook and YouTube. If you want to join us for the conversation and help me clear up my confusion why I'm wearing green. I'm not. Why do we wear green on St. Patrick's Day? Not on Friday the 13th. So I'm not I'm really not superstitious about either. Although there's some things that we kind of get geared up for. I don't know. I was looking at my closet this morning. I don't have a lot of green. In fact, I have very little green. I only have a couple of things that even kind of a shade of green to it. But I feel like I got to get geared up. Why? Why are we afraid of getting pinched on St. Patrick's Day? I'm going to give you the answer. If you'll hang with us and join us on our Friday Live, I'm going to give you the answer. Do you have any idea why? Why were you worried about getting pinched on St. Patrick's Day? I found the answer, and I was today years old when I learned the answer. That's why I'm going to have you join us Friday Live, Facebook, YouTube for the answer. Why? Why are we worried about getting pinched on St. Patrick's Day if we're not wearing the green? Join us. It's a good question. Do you know why? Anybody watching in this morning? We got a few people watching in. Furnish the answer. Supply the answer before I spoil it for you. Maybe you can be the person who gets to show off your St. Patrick's Day knowledge. And tell me, why are we worried about wearing green? Why do we wear green? If we don't wear green, we get pinched. How did that get started? And again, I'm going to go back to the color scheme. You know, this whole St. Patrick's Day celebration has gotten wildly out of hand. It's actually in celebration of a preacher, the bishop, St. Patrick, patron saint of Ireland. We're talking about somebody that was a minister alive back around the early 500s. They call it the 4th century. When you say the 4th century, you're talking about something 500 AD. So we're not too many years, a few hundred years removed from Jesus. And here's St. Patrick, who came back from Great Britain with the gospel to Ireland. And it is very much an Irish celebration. But why is it green? When the first attributions, if you will, to a St. Patrick's Day were actually blue, which was in contrast, I think, to the red, whatever, of Great Britain. Let's see here. Tammy, good morning to you. Emery, good to see you. Thank you for checking in. And Debbie, always good to say howdy. Anybody got any idea why we wear green on St. Patrick's Day? Good morning, Dan. Glad to see you checking in. Conversation this morning is no, we're not wearing green on Friday the 13th. But why are we even thinking about, why are we worried about wearing green on St. Patrick's Day? Honestly, the early celebrations, I was looking into this, it was originally started off as blue. But because Ireland is known as the Emerald Island, very lush greens, the leafy vegetables and trees and the foliage there, the green grass, rolling green hills. I mean, topography, if you look down satellite imagery, Ireland is very, very green. And so that kind of turned over there. Bruno, good to see you. Jackie, always good to see you. She doesn't get it. I don't either. I don't really get into not the way it is celebrated. The green beer and all of those things. I'm not mad at nobody, but we're honoring somebody who shared the gospel. And so a lot of people choose to go get soused up. To each their own. I am not mad at anybody. I just find it kind of contradictory to we're honoring somebody who was very, very pivotal in sharing the gospel. And we wear green for whatever reason. It's all about the green. It's the Emerald Island, Ireland, and I wish I'd have thought I've got a friend who's a missionary over there. Next St. Patrick's Day, somebody remind me to get a hold of my friend, the missionary Barry over in Ireland. Jack, good morning to you. I think was it last Friday or Friday before last? Jack was a guest on our Friday Live, debuting the Bible Tones new song. So a couple of things. St. Patrick in the early 500s was credited with a great expansion of the gospel in Ireland, and as such, recognized patron saint today in the Catholic Church of the country of Ireland. And when you think of St. Patrick, you think of green. You also think of what else is green that everybody's kind of got wearing, or you see the imagery, the clover, right? Three leaf, not the four leaf. We look at the four leaf as something lucky, but credited. And I don't know if it's true, but probably out of tradition and out of folklore, probably true that he used the illustration of the three-leaf clover to try to explain the Trinity. 3 in 1, 1 with 3. I will just say this: any earthly example of the Trinity is going to fall short. You cannot completely understand, get our minds around the egg, whatever, water, frozen, it's ice, in vapor, it's a gas, it's a vapor, and in its true form, water is a liquid. No, even that, the Trinity, God the Father, God the Son, God the Spirit, 3 in 1, same but different. Same God, distinct personalities, if you will, persons. There has not been any earthly illustration that's put it all together for me, and I don't think anybody has. But to his credit, we all try to find some earthly illustration to describe that relationship of Father, Son, and Spirit, and it all fall down. The shamrock, that's right, Debbie. The shamrock, I should have called it right. The three-leaf clover, and I believe that St. Patrick was credited for using the shamrock as trying to attempt to explain God the Father, Son, and Spirit. There's some controversy on that, whether or not it's true. That I don't know if they just aren't just absolutely solid that he had a sermon on that or whatever. But in any case, that's the imagery, the shamrock, and then the wearing of the green. Why are we worried about making sure we wear green? Because somebody's going to pinch us. And what's wrong with these weird people that feel like they got to pinch you? Is that like rude? You get away with that on St. Patrick's Day. You get to be a little bit rude and just obnoxious, which is the spirit of. Okay, so nobody's giving me an answer yet. At least not in the live. Jackie, one of my favorite cereals ever growing up, Lucky Charms. Right, over the good luck of finding a 4-leaf clover. A lot of superstition today, right? Friday the 13th, that superstition. On Tuesday is St. Patrick's Day. If you don't wear green, you won't. There's the luck of the Irish that's kind of celebrated there. All right, are we ready? Hey, Mama's in the house. Everybody behave. Good to see you, Mom. We'll do the explanation in 10 seconds. We'll do it live, so you get to kind of watch in on the live radio. We'll touch on a couple of other things and get you off onto your morning here. I'll probably better stop that. That's for Calvary Quartet and just passing through on KWFC, your home for the best in Southern gospel music and some fun. We are Friday Live. I pitched the question earlier. Why did we wear green? Why are we wearing green? And as I'm learning it, and I'm up for correction on this. So if you know better, if you are an Irish history buff and expert, I'm going to confess readily, I'm trusting some internet sources, which may not always be true. Now, AI you can trust, right? Any case, I'm given to understand that the whole idea of wearing green is so that you blend in with the Irish countryside. So these little leprechauns won't sneak up on you and pinch you. They can't see you wearing green, but if they can see you on St. Patrick's Day not wearing green, you're wearing any other color that they can see. I don't know if they're what's the name of that vision when you can only see certain colors, monochrome or whatever that vision is. If you're not wearing green, they can see you and then they're going to pinch you. The whole leprechaun thing's a funny topic anyway. It's some kind of fairy-like creature. I've always thought them to be kind of like a mischievous, kind of tricksters, pranksters, and kind of you don't want them around. You just don't want a leprechaun around. It seems like they're always trying to do you harm or do you take something from you. So anyway, that's the as I'm given to understand the lore and the reason why you wear green is so the leprechaun won't sneak up on you and pinch you. It's funny how we just adopt some culture things and have no idea why. I didn't know it was related to the leprechaun. And then I'm like, what is a leprechaun? And so I chased that down just a little bit that the leprechaun, the word leprechaun, they say comes from the old Irish word, which means small body. So it's like really small. When I think of a fairy, it's been described as a fairy or just some kind of a fantasy creature, obviously. But when I think of a fairy, I think of Tinkerbell, right? Little bitty, like maybe 2 or 3 inches tall. When I see leprechauns like the Keebler elf, well, they're not probably leprechauns, are they? Anyway, when I see them, I think of like elves, like bigger, stronger things. Not a fairy, which is also strong. Tinkerbell's pretty strong. But in any case, I digress. That's what the literal meaning of leprechaun, as some have said, come from small body, reflecting their size. Some others suggest it has to do with the combination of Leith Brogan. Leith Brogan. It's this terrible Irish accent you're getting from me. It's a shoemaker. And then when they say Leith Brogan, that's a half brogue, the half shoe. So somebody who specializes in fixing one shoe, single shoes, not making a pair of shoes, but repairing a single shoe. So go with what you want. Probably the small body because they're small, diminutive caricatures, if you will, in the lore. But that's what you're worried about on St. Patrick's Day Tuesday. If you're not wearing green, you're worried about the leprechaun sneaking up on you and pinching you, which is weird, which is all weird. And I had a feeling Jeff would chime in on the green conversation because I had to wear some yesterday in the settling of a friendly wager. Jeff Klein, former coach for our Evangel college team here in Springfield, member of the coaches quartet. I meant to give you all these credits yesterday when I posted on my Facebook yesterday, Jeff, that you and I finally settled up. It was a year and a half in the making, but I finally settled up on our Super Bowl 59 wager of whose team would win, his Philadelphia Eagles or my Kansas City Chiefs. And my Chiefs, did they even get off the bus? Did the Chiefs even get off the bus in Super Bowl 59? Took a pretty sound thumping from the Philadelphia Eagles. So a lunch well deserved. We enjoyed the lunch, absolutely enjoyed the lunch, and look forward to getting together again. Maybe next time you get to wear the red. And we don't have to wait for a Super Bowl, Jeff. We don't have to do that. Vonda Armstrong is in the house. Good morning. Glad you checking in here on our Friday Live. So we're wearing green because we don't get pinched by the leprechaun, a mystical creature. It's all just crazy. And if you look down into the histories of it, actually blue was the early traditional colors of St. Patrick's celebration. And then I guess somewhere along the line, the drowning of the shamrock. That is where they kind of soaked a shamrock, the 3-leaf clover, in a shot of whiskey, and then hence started the drink. And now it seems like it's all about drinking. And I'm thinking, I would rather just think about the man who carried the gospel into Ireland. He's also credited with chasing off snakes, but I think you have the ocean to thank for that. Well, we don't have a lot of snakes in Ireland, so. Just kind of breaking down some of the funny things we celebrate without knowing. I didn't know why we wore green. It's just like it's an Irish thing. You wear green, or somebody going to pinch you. So in any case, I just kind of, I would just go back and just honor Ann for carrying the gospel of Jesus Christ to Ireland, kind of like KWFC does 365 days a year. Can I just encourage you? Next week is Friendraiser. We probably won't do well. We might do a snippet of a Friday Live just to give you the experience of what's going on in the studio on the last day of Friendraiser next week. But next week is a big week for KWFC, and I want to just encourage you. You're watching in, you're listening in on KWFC, that you are qualified to help and support KWFC. This is going to be a big year for this ministry. It's a big year. Many things in the works, some big things in the works. And then already what we've already got playing down that I can tell you about is prayer is going to be a supreme focus of 2026. KWFC and our sister station, The Wind, are the new hosts of our largest community faith initiative, the Springfield Prayer Breakfast, held on the National Day of Prayer. This is where we honor our local, our state, and our federal friends in government and in first responders, the public servants. We honor them with a breakfast and prayer, praying over them. And that happens on the National Day of Prayer, May the 7th, by the way, wherever you are. Look up a community event and plug in. But we're hosting it this year, so that's a big deal. That's a big deal. We need your help to do those kinds of things. Not just to mention doing the radio and encouraging you every day with 300 doses of inspiration and hope. Every song we play lifts up Jesus and helps people find him in the hard times and even on the good days, but not even on the hard days, help you see the Savior work right here on KWFC. So if you could make a gift to help us, be very, very, very good to help us grow it, not just to hold ground. We need more friends to join us just to hold ground with the cost of things. But we want to grow this thing, and that's going to require more friends to support this ministry. I appreciate you doing that. While you're online, you can make that gift online at kwfc.org. And many of the people watching right now are doing that already, which I want to say thank you. A lot of the friends watching in right now are doing that. I love you all. It's been a fun Friday experience. However you're going to celebrate or whatever you're going to do, I would say keep it safe and sober. And let's remember the man that carried the gospel to Ireland when we celebrate St. Patrick's Day. God bless you all. Have a wonderful weekend. Lord willing, we'll check in with you next Friday during our Friendraiser.